Welcome to another broadcast of the Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend.
Would you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to the October 30th meeting of Lorain County Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Kalo has the dog for today.
Come here. Come here. Get a picture of you. I want to get to see you. Come here. Our featured pet this week is a male shepherd mix, not quite a year old. He's available for adoption now, actually. He's been with us since October 16th, but he's got such a great temperament. We've held off any other action, and the APL doesn't want any more large dogs on our cooperative agreement with them. So he's a great dog, great personality, a little bit timid, but he's been locked up a couple of weeks. So please stop by our dog kennel. He definitely needs a new family, and take a look at our pets we have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Remembering we have dogs available at our dog pound, dog kennel, or on our website, you can view them. Make a great pet. And the thought for today runs right along with our dog theme. It's an anonymous quote. It says, "The reason a dog has so many friends is that he or she wags his or her tail instead of his or her tongue."
I knew that.
Oh, it's going to be another fun meeting. Madam Clerk.
At 11 o'clock, we're going to have our investment advisory meeting. We're going to go into our annexation. This is a public hearing on the proposed annexation of approximately 0.43 acres in Carlisle Township to the City of Elyria. Attorney Mark Stevens is the agent. Petition and map were filed in the Board of Commissioners, received by the clerk on August 6th for a proposed regular annexation of approximately 0.436 acres in Carlisle Township to the City of Elyria for the petitioner Barbara J. Stevenson, trustee of the Richard J. Giles Trust.
Gillis.
I'm sorry. Letters were issued on August 7, 2008 to Mark Stewart, Lorain County Auditor, and Ken Carney, Lorain County Engineer, for review and accuracy. August 13th, received affidavit of notice to owners of surrounding area and proof of service notifying clerks of the township and the city. August 14th, Commissioners Resolution 08586 received and journalized regular annexation petition. August 19th, received proof of publication notice to appear in the Chronicle Telegram on August 18th. August 27th, certificate of filing from County Auditor was received. September 9th, received letter from engineer after review stated land is in original section 5 of Carlisle Township to the City of Elyria, and the description of map reads approximately the same, but drawing does not show where the description begins and is adjacent and contiguous to the city. Clerk notify the agent. October 3rd, received letter from engineer after meeting with the agent relating to the drawing submitted, not showing where the description begins. This parcel is an existing parcel record, and reference to where the description begins is no consequence in regards to the proposed annexation, and the parcel is surrounded by lands in the City of Elyria. Clerk notify the agent. October 28th, received City of Elyria Ordinance 2008-125 stating what services will be provided by February 2nd, 2009, or upon annexation, whichever last occurs, and this should have been filed 20 days prior to the hearing.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, I would like to turn the hearing over to our Assistant Prosecutor, Attorney Gerald Ennis.
Okay, the first thing we have to do is anybody who is going to testify or give any evidence, I'll ask you to stand and be sworn. Nobody else? Okay, do you swear that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, as you shall answer unto God or under penalty of the law of perjury?
I do.
Okay. The first thing we have to do on these regular annexations is do a consideration of the filing of the papers and so forth. I take it since there's nobody else here, there's nobody that objects to the petition or the filing of papers that are necessary for the annexation to go forward? Okay. I do have to alert the commissioners to one issue. Under the statute, the ordinance from the city in which they indicate that they will provide all the utilities and so forth under the statute is supposed to be in 20 days before this hearing. That was not the case. I have discussed it with both Terry Schilling from the city and with the petitioner's agent and attorney, Mark Stevenson. They have indicated that that is their desire to waive that defect. The statute indicates that these procedural things are no longer fatal as they used to be, and that as long as substantial compliance is done, the commissioners are allowed to cure procedural defects. I have indicated to both Mr. Schilling and Mr. Stevenson that I'm not completely confident that waiving it affects that cure, but since there is nobody here to object, if they're willing to go forward with it, I am, but I just wanted to get that on the record. With that being said, the next step is to proceed to the merits of it. Mr. Stevenson, do you wish to make a presentation as to?
Very briefly.
Probably need to come to the podium.
This small parcel of land is surrounded by the city of Elyria. It was owned by my client's father for many years, who wanted and desired and fought to stay in Carlisle Township, as Ms. Blair knows.
I sure do.
However, he is deceased now, and it needs to be sold. And to be sold, it needs to tie into the sewer and to the water. So the annexation is in the best interest of the property. It is in the best interest of the city of Elyria, because it is right now surrounded by Elyria. So I ask that you approve it, and I represent to you that the provision that Mr. Innes is speaking of, I'd like to read it. The statement, this is the statement from the city, the legislative authority, approving the annexation and saying what they will provide. The statement shall be filed with the Board of County Commissioners at least 20 days before the date of the hearing. In this situation, the city of Elyria, the council approved by ordinance this annexation and set forth what services they would provide on I believe it was September 2nd, 2008. There was an oversight, and they did not send it over here. I believe that the physical filing of that document with you is for your convenience, not for anyone else's. And I ask that you waive that convenience today and allow this to go forward, so that this island in the city of Elyria will now become part of that city, so the property can be improved and so that it can be ultimately sold, so it can be inhabited. And I ask that you approve it. Thank you.
Mr. Stevenson, just could you inform us what the size of this piece of property is?
It is, as set forth in the
I
petition,
think it's like 4/10 of an acre.
Yeah, it's a half acre.
yeah,
Okay.
0.436 acres.
Okay, we just need to get that in the record, and if the commissioners may have questions here.
Okay.
I'm going to run through a few things
All
here,
right.
so. Just if I may ask the clerk, we have gone through the checklist with regard to the technical requirements that are needed for the petition,
Yes.
the mapping, and those things are all present, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
The next requirement is that we have the statement from the municipality, and we do now have that. We have also verified that the majority, is there just that one owner then?
Correct.
So all the owners of the property have signed the petition. One factor you have to determine is that the territory is not unreasonable unreasonably large, and I take it, Mr. Stevenson, you would indicate that 4/10 of an acre is not unreasonably large.
I agree it is not.
Okay, especially in view of the fact that it is completely surrounded by the city of Elyria. The next factor is on balance whether it benefits the territory and outweighs any detriment to the territory remaining in the township. As I understand it, your position is that in order to obtain sewers, this is necessary and benefits the land?
Yes, and also, you've got an island in the city of Elyria that I guess arguably would have to be patrolled by the sheriff's department, and I don't think that is very, shall we say, economical.
Okay. And finally, we're not dividing or segmenting any streets so that it would
No.
have any service problems there.
No.
Okay. If the commissioners had any questions they wanted to put forth?
Questions? I have none.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
C. Is there anybody else who wishes to comment or give any further evidence with regard to this matter? If not, then we will deem the taking of evidence to be closed, and I would submit it to the commissioners if you have any questions of me or if you wish to proceed with a motion at this time.
Any further questions, commissioners? I believe based on, I'm sorry? Pardon me? Did you say something?
No, I didn't.
Based on the information that's been presented to us and my personal knowledge of the property involved, I will move that the annexation request presented to us be approved, waiving the defect that was presented, finding that this does create an island and that the territory outlined is not unreasonably large and that it does need sewers that can be provided by the city of Elyria.
Okay, just so, I think you said it does create an island. You're eliminating the island. is
Yes,
what
I'm
you're doing.
sorry.
And just to add on to that language, we want a specific finding that all of the 6 conditions required for annexation have been met.
And further,
We have to specifically put that in there.
and further that all the 6 conditions required have been met.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye. Thank you.
Now you can pick up the dog on your way out.
You win the dog.
What do you want to do, Tim Luby?
Oh, he's waiting anxiously.
Yeah.
Mr. Luby?
Good morning, Commissioners. How are you?
Good, how are
Morning,
you?
Tim.
Very good, thank you. On behalf of the General Division, I thank you for
Is
this
this mic on?
opportunity.
Jim, is his
um,
mic on? Jim? Is his mic on?
Can't you dance and chew gum and do
Probably
it?
better if it's not.
Doesn't sound like
Sound
it.
like it.
He's not bellowing.
Are you not doing the presentation?
Are you doing a presentation?
Oh, no.
Well, then come on over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Try it now.
Well, he's coming over here.
Okay.
No, go back over there.
We changed gears. Then we don't have to worry about it.
Good morning, Commissioners. How are you?
Yeah.
Good morning, Tim.
On behalf of the General Division, I appreciate this opportunity to come before you and address any concerns that you may have with respect to the request of the General Division. Just to address something Commissioner Kalo had asked right before the meeting, he'd asked about my presentation, and I would say that not to take anything away from the excellent and professional presentation by the Domestic Relations Court the following week, because we are here seeking additional funds, we decided that it would be prudent to not expend additional funds on a fancy presentation that ultimately isn't going to make any difference to you, I believe. So with that, I will proceed. Approximately early September, the administrative judge and myself began a review of our available funds, and following that review, we made a determination that the funds that we had in our various accounts would be insufficient with respect to 3 areas: our general fund salary account, our probation salary account, and our PERS fund for the general salary account. Following that review, then Judge Zaleski drafted a letter which he sent to you for your review that specifically delineated those deficiencies. And with respect to the salaries in the general fund account, we determined that through the end of the year we would have a deficiency of approximately $151,678. With respect to the salary for the adult probation department, we would have a deficiency of $28,761. with respect to the PERS fund for the general salary account, we would have a deficiency of $15,204, resulting in a total supplementation that we would be requesting of $195,643, respectively. Just yesterday, it came to my attention, we received a report from the auditor's office that broke out their review of the PERS account. And unfortunately, it came to our attention that our determination of the $15,204 was actually short. Their calculation was a deficiency of $29,427.74, which if we were to add that in, instead of $195,643, we would have a total request of $209,866. I then brought that to Judge Zaleski's attention. We discussed the matter, and it was his position that we would not seek that additional fund at this time, but we would transfer funds around and make it work. So again, the total that we are seeking today is simply the $195,643.
Couple questions, Tim. Have there been any additional hirings in Court of Common Pleas out of general fund money? I
There
know you
have
had the
not.
foreclosure.
Correct.
The foreclosure was a part.
That's correct,
But
Commissioner.
it's-
We've hired 2 additional personnel, but those personnel were not paid out of general fund accounts. So we're happy to report that in spite of the increased personnel needs, we've not sought general fund support for those positions. And in fact, I would represent to you that so far this year, we have, because of the funds from those special fund accounts, we have turned over to the general fund $151,000, and those were through disbursements to the clerk of court's office and the sheriff's office. So those departments are more than likely not here today requesting additional funds because of the disbursements that we've been able to make through our special funds account.
Okay, and those come from where, Tim?
$149,000 went to the clerk of courts,
Okay.
and then about $1,200 to $1,300 went to the sheriff's office.
From the foreclosure? Okay.
From the foreclosure fund, yes, Commissioner.
I guess my question would be, is this overtime causing this? Because I know when we did salary adjustments for raises, you got the additional money in your line items for salaries, so...
Sure, your question is reasonable, which is why is this the case? I can't represent that it is related to overtime. There is a small, well, not a small, I mean $10,000 is not insignificant, that was related to overtime, a one-time event expense for foreclosures when we were transferring files out of the old courthouse and getting them into the record storage center. But that does not represent the vast portion of this funds. In anticipation of that question, I went back and reviewed why that may exist. We didn't hire additional personnel. We did not disperse or give our personnel any significant raises other than the cost of living raise. It's my estimation that it's simply a distinction between what we actually requested in our 2008 budget request and what we actually received. Looking at those figures, and I'm prepared to give those to you today, we requested $1,999,000. We received from the commissioners $1,725,000. That is a deficiency of $264,000, and that's just with respect to the general fund salaries account. That goes into place also with there's a significant difference with respect to the PERS account and the adult probation account. So in my review, it's simply we didn't get enough to make ends meet, Commissioner.
Do you have comments, Mr. Cortez?
I have questions.
Well, good. You're on.
You mind to come to the other mic, Lisa? You have to excuse Lisa. Her back is still
I know.
bothering her.
Yeah.
Or she can probably
Take
just
your
sit.
time.
Closer, Mike.
All right, Tim, don't be hitting her over here.
Oh, man.
We took the 2007 allocations that everybody received, and then we added a percentage of an increase for the agreed-upon salary or personnel raises for 2007 to the 2008 budget. Is that correct?
4%.
So we increased everybody's salary budget by 4% based upon 2007's allocation
Right,
for all general fund departments.
correct.
And so I
I don't understand the discrepancy in what you're asking. Your original ask was at the end of '07 for '08. What did we add our 4% to, what they had spent in '07?
No, we added the 4% to what we gave them in the beginning of '07, and if I remember correctly, you were here last year asking for more salary money because you couldn't make it then, right?
That's correct, yes.
So that's, I think, where maybe the discrepancy is lying.
And it's always going to be the case, Commissioner. Say, for example, if we ask for X and you give us Y, and even then you added a percentage to the Y, if ultimately that X and Y don't match and we need X to pay the salaries, then we're going to have a discrepancy every year.
So we didn't add the 4% to what their actual salary count ended up being at the end of the year. It was at the beginning of '07.
I need to know for certain what we did with that 4%, because if we did that with other departments, then they're going to be running a deficiency
That's what I'm
also.
We
asking.
did that with every department. We added 4% onto what we originally gave them at the beginning of '07 in their salary accounts.
Oh.
And we did not compensate for the PERS accounts.
Well, I knew the PRS was going to be short. We were aware of that. We were just waiting towards the end of the year to clear up the PRS
Right.
issue. But my understanding was that we took the salary, if we took the salary counts, we added 4% without adding the adjustments that we made, because we made adjustments in all the departments mid-year, then we're going to be seeing a few more of these requests. My understanding was that we added the 4% to their total salary expenditures.
No.
Okay.
Hopefully, like I said, we feel very fortunate that we were able to make that significant disbursement to the clerk's office, $149,000, that theoretically may not necessitate them having to be here because those funds are now in their general fund account to pay salaries. In fact, that's specifically where those funds went, so.
Can you confirm, Lisa, what we did in 2006, 7, and what we did for this year? Well, because I'm going to be in executive session with the board, we can come out and take a look at those numbers.
Yeah, I want to see exactly what we did department by department, Lisa.
Okay.
Because I think what he's asked or saying is, we had a wish list, and this is what we wished for, but you only gave us this amount. So
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's what he's saying.
No.
That's why I didn't understand. I think what he's saying is, they gave us a salary amount at the end of 2007 that had a number in it, but we only adjusted based on the 2007 January budget.
No, I think what he requested in his budget package back in May of '07 for '08 is not what he got.
Oh, I don't.
What Lori's
okay.
saying is
That never
correct.
works on the wish list, right? I
No.
understand
it was a
that.
wish list.
Now, wait a minute, you just said they're both right, and they both can't be right. If it was based upon the May 2007 of the tax budget, is what we're actually talking about, right? And I thought that what we did when we
She's saying
passed
no.
It wasn't based on, what we gave them was not based on that. What Tim is saying is, he submitted his budget package in May for his request. However, what he got was not what he requested.
I recognize that, it's not a hard concept. Let me
Okay.
finish for a moment, okay?
These women keep getting in your way of finishing, Jim.
Excuse Mr. Kalo, please.
He has a hard
Uh,
life.
What I'm suggesting here is, I want to know what the 2007 allocation was that we expended for salaries. I thought what we did, and it was a while back, and we've been pretty busy, that we took that and we added 4%. I'm not worried about the tax budget, I'm worried about the annual appropriation. Okay, so during the annual appropriation, it was my understanding when we worked on that, that we took the salary accounts for all the departments with the additions that we restored. I don't want to say additions, I want to say the restored budget amounts, because we restored some budgets, and we added 4% to that. I don't even want to talk about what they asked for in May of 2007, because that is for the Ohio Revised Code taxing budget issues. Our most important thing that we work on is the annual appropriations in December, and that's what we use as a guide. We call it a budget, but it's our annual appropriation. I want to get that information. And I'm not, Tim, I'm not being contrary to you.
Sure.
But I'm a little bit slightly confused with what we applied the percentage to. And if we didn't do it that way, then we are deficient in what we gave you. If we did do it that way, then we have to have further discussion.
I think, Jim, I think we may be talking about apples and oranges in the sense of I think you did exactly that, in that you applied 4% to what you had allocated in our budget.
Right.
And unfortunately, that was deficient in previous years, and it was going to be deficient in this year. Like we were here last year asking for additional
But
funds.
what he was talking about was the allocation that was given to you in 2007, plus the additional amounts that we gave you towards the end of the year, and then the 4% was added on to that, as I understand it.
I don't have the answer to that
No,
question.
nor do I, and that's what I was trying to get to the root cause here. So what I want to look is, I want to see the 2006 allocation, appropriation, the 2007 appropriation all in, and the 2008 appropriation that we had, what should be the 2007 plus 4. And the 2007 appropriation was enough to pay for 2007 salaries. So if we added the 4% to the all-in 2007 appropriation, then we shouldn't have a deficiency. But I'm not saying we did that. I'm not sure. So I want to take a look at those
Right,
numbers.
that
And
was
it
the
will-
concern. If we added it to the 2007, what they were given January 1 of '07, and then we increased the account,
Right.
then we're short. That's what we need, that's what I was
Right.
trying to
Yeah.
get to, okay.
I
And it
can't-
will be a learning experience for all of us.
I can represent to the commissioners without a doubt that we, again, didn't add any new personnel, only gave the 4% raise, have not shifted any funds out of our salary accounts. So as to why it would be mathematically deficient, perhaps it is simply we
Right.
didn't add in when we did the 4% calculation.
Jim, can we, excuse me, can we anticipate anything coming back from the other line item accounts, though, at the end of the year? Are we going to sit on those?
I would love to tell you, well, I had a greater expectation of more funds back to the general fund, as we've been able to do. Even last year, when we asked for additional funds, we still were able to return a significant amount of funds to the general fund, but we just found out we were $15,000 less, as I said before, from the PERS calculation yesterday, so that was $15,000 that I was not anticipating having to move around. And we also have deficiencies in all of my accounts that I'm moving around now to rob Peter to pay Paul to make it through the end of the year. I can't honestly tell you any kind of sums that I will represent will be there, but we're not going to bonus any accounts out or do anything like that.
I understand it, yeah, I'm just wondering if you had an idea of
At this point in time, I don't. We're still calculating.
I've been working with Tim over there. He's squeezing the chamois pretty good. Making some changes with regard to expenditures and purchases and things like that. And we've had quite a few discussions on economics on a few things. So they're getting their economies out of everything. I can tell you that.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you,
We'll be
Commissioners.
looking at it further.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate your coming. Okay, it's about 10 o'clock, so Robin, I think you're on. Good morning. Robin Jones, our 911 director.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners, for taking this time for an update on 911 and what we have on the horizon.
Okay, Robin.
Put it
Yeah,
towards
there you go.
How's that? That
Better.
better? All right, thank you, Commissioners, for taking the time for an update on 911 and what we have on the horizon. Beginning next week, we will implement dispatch services to Oberlin Fire Department. To clarify, Lorain County 911 Communications Center is the central answering point for 911 calls placed in the county. Oberlin Fire will join other county fire departments in having Lorain County 911 dispatch emergency calls directly to Oberlin Fire personnel. This will maintain this will maintain emergency communications throughout the entire emergency response. The change will provide efficient and effective use of collaboration between Lorain County 911 and Oberlin Fire Department to provide services to the citizens of Lorain County. There is a press release on the back table pertaining to this. Please pick one up. Second on our agenda is implementing mobile computing. I have a PowerPoint which will provide understanding of what this will provide to responding units. Mobile computing, what is mobile computing? It provides a mapping and location information to be displayed on a mobile data terminal. The mobile data terminal will reside in a vehicle, responding vehicle, and will be at the fingertips of the responder. So it'd be at the fingertips of the responding fire department. It allows for direct interaction with the dispatch center. The 911 dispatcher answers the initial call for assistance. The fire department is contacted. The location information is sent to the fire and EMS unit straight from what we type into our computer-aided dispatch center. The benefits will allow responders, and this is the fire departments that are going to be responding, to view the emergency call and the location information. There will be available a vehicle-to-vehicle messaging, additional information relating to a location, such as contacts and names and phone numbers, will be made available. Here is a slide that provides the location information provided to the responding units. Of course, this is not our county, but as you can see, the location is 636 North. I don't even know what NC stands for in their system. But anyway, it gives it will give the cross streets if that's in our system, and it'll give the business name if that's in our system. And as you can see, it'll say structure alarm. This next slide is showing the notes that our dispatchers will type in. As you can see, it says caller advises smoke and flames visible from a roof area. Now that is something that we are getting from the caller. We're typing it in, and the responding unit will see the same thing that we're typing in. Mobile computing will actually minimize radio traffic because they're going to actually see the location. They're not going to be calling us on the radio again to verify the location. It will reduce our dispatcher workload and improve efficiency. All right. This slide is actually instantaneous. So as we're typing, they're going to be able to see exactly what we're typing. So if we get another call and there's entrapment, they're going to see that. We will still be able to notify them on the radio for anything else, but as we type, they'll be able to see it. And if there's any updates regarding scene, sometimes after we have a fire, we find out there is somebody entrapped or there's not entrapment. So that can be seen immediately. One of the mapping is very essential to being able to respond. So this program will actually provide the same mapping that we have on our CAD to the responding unit. They're going to be able to view the mapping, they're going to be able to manipulate the mapping, and they will have an aerial photography that they can actually view that will show terrain, roads, maybe a path through the woods or something that to get to where they need to go. Now this is a map. It's not our map, it's not our county, but it has been provided us, and this is exactly what they will see. Is there any questions?
Is that it, Robin?
Yes.
Did we put through the package that you and I discussed with the wireless cards, or is this all part of this?
The wireless card, we're going to provide the mobile data switch at our center. We're going to update our system to provide that. The responders, the fire departments will provide their MTDs, MDTs.
Take your time.
The mobile data. They'll provide their laptops. A lot of them already have MDTs. They will also have to provide an air card, which will slide into the laptop and allow them to have internet connection.
Are we going to pick up the air cards? I thought you and I discussed that we were going to try to get the air cards.
We decided that it would be best that they provide their.
We couldn't use those wireless dollars that we had for the air cards?
No.
That's unfortunate. Okay.
No, we can't.
Well, we tried.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes, we did try. So With that being said, anybody has any questions?
I think it's wonderful. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you,
Commissioners?
Commissioner.
Yeah, nice job, Robin. I think this is the start of some regional cooperation amongst the cities and the county.
Yes, it is. I think it'll be a big help to responding units trying to get to scenes when there's a lot going on.
And it puts more firemen out on the road doing the firefighting versus sitting in there doing the dispatching also.
Right, with Oberlin, that's exactly what is occurring. They have a dispatcher sitting in their station. Starting next week, that dispatcher will become a fireman because we will be notifying the whole department for the emergency instead of just him, and then he would in turn notify other responders to come to station to respond. So we're actually eliminating somebody sitting there that can actually get up and go ahead and respond to those.
Yeah, as most people aren't aware, most of the fire departments use firemen to do the dispatching because of the technicality of the call, whereas in police departments, they're actually dispatchers of separate shifts. So this puts more firemen out fighting fires versus sitting behind a radio. So I think it's a real benefit doing this, and I hope we get the other communities on board.
Well, Commissioner, this takes us to the next level. I want to share with you, I want to thank the city manager and the fire chief in Oberlin for their forward thinking and their vision, and for working with us to get in line with the state's priorities on consolidation of government services so that there's less duplication and overlapping. It was a pleasure working with them over in Oberlin. We worked through a couple issues, but none of them were insurmountable when you have agreeable people that want to get something done. I will tell you that Rob and I are working with other communities, and we'll have more successes, I believe, to bring to you in the near future. I do believe that within the coming next year or two that we should be doing most of the dispatching for the fire departments here in Lorain County vis-a-vis 911, thereby giving the residents a lot more bang for their tax dollars. And as you said, Commissioner Kalo, increasing the ability to put responders on the scene. But this system is very, very necessary to be able to support that whole practice so that they have the better information when they're doing their job. And that's only one evolutionary process. We've talked about a few more things that we'd like to see to be able to provide for them at the scene, at the point of service being provided, and we'll be bringing more back probably next year. So this is, I would say this is just like a phase one of what we really hope to provide. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah, right. And right now, we're providing dispatching services to 14 fire departments. So Oberlin will become our 15th.
Beautiful.
So it's looking very good. And this meets the state's desire to have those services stop being duplicated.
Well, I think Eric Norenberg, the city manager, is the best elected official or appointed official to come out of Arizona and come to Lorain County.
I was glad you didn't say he's the best appointed official in Lorain County.
No. Well, he's an import from Arizona. I spent a lot of time with there, so it's nice to have him
Sometimes
here.
domestic is better than import. Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Good job, Robin.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
Under Resolutions Number 1, Job and Family Services bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Investments?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Appropriations?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Transfers?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Advances and repayments?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Requisitions?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Travel expenses?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Bills?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under the Commissioners, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within jurisdiction of Lorain County Commissioners.
Mr. Cortez?
Thank you, Madam President. I do have a few new hires to discuss at Job and Family Services, the county home. I have a matter of ongoing bargaining that we need to discuss. And the, I'm trying to remember, I have a litigation issue. No, I don't believe I do. So I would request an executive session at the conclusion of our regular board meeting today to discuss those issues. They are permissible under the Sunshine Law. Thank you.
Thank you.
Approve and waive the reading of the same for Lorain County Board of Commissioners meeting minutes for October 23rd, 2008.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Approve and enter an MOU with Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority to provide transportation services to Lorain County residents beginning November 9, 2008 through November 8, 2009, at a cost of $62,000 annually. Governor Strickland has committed to provide funds to transit systems to lessen the impact of increasing fuel costs and support continual public transportation service in the state of Ohio, and Lorain County will be the subrecipient of federal funds to provide such services. Authorize County Administrator to execute on behalf of the Board with prosecutors approve as to form.
Mr. Cordez?
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would like you to table this. There was a couple questions with regard to form from the prosecutor's office that I received late yesterday. I don't believe that either issue will be disagreeable to a change, but I want to get those changes made to it. I have been wanting to move forward to make sure that we didn't have a reduction in services to our constituents up in the Avon Lake area. So if we could have another week or so. I know the service is still being provided, the intent is there, and I will work on that agreement, and I understand that Madam President is not happy with a couple of the terms and conditions, so I may be able to get a little bit of movement in those with regard to our discussion. Commissioner Blair, I will give it a try.
You may wave your magic wand.
Well, yeah, I'll do what I can. I don't know about a magic wand, but I will do what I can to try to get the, a little bit of structure that you asked me to get. But we still need to continue to provide services until we find an alternative for those folks up in Avon Lake. I also want to report, while we're talking about transit, I was going to do in my report that we're having considerable problem with the governor's money that's coming vis-a-vis NOACA. I've been looking at it all week, and that CMAQ money may not be able to be used for operations, and we're going to be in a desperate situation. The original intent, I believe, of the money being moved from the governor's office, and I see Ronnie shaking his head, that was to be able to use it for operating cost.
That was our discussions on the WAC of Lorain County.
Well,
Correct.
I will tell you, and Ron, you may want to participate with me in this discussion if I get off track. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the bailout, Ron. What we're being told now is the CMAQ money can only be used for projects and capital expenses, but not operating cost. And if this does not change, we are facing at least a $500,000 deficit by the end of the year. We're almost in deficit spending now because we were counting on that 600 and some odd dollars coming in for operating cost, and as of this morning, that decision still had not been changed, and we've been working on it with the other transit authorities.
Now, that would make a real problem with Greater Cleveland RTA because they needed $8 or $9 million just for fuel alone in that dispersion of funds.
Greater Cleveland RTA was on schedule to get, I think it was $1.2 million of that. The governor asked ODOT, at least as it was presented through NOACA to all of the counties, the governor asked ODOT to use CMAG funds because they had not been fully utilized. CMAG funds are for projects that will clean up the air quality. Certainly we are in non-attainment in Northeast Ohio, so our CMAG monies typically go to building parking lots so people will get on the bus rather than taking their individual cars. We have replaced motors in Cleveland RTA with natural gas burning, more environmentally friendly vehicles rather than some of the diesel and certainly gasoline engines that put out the harmful products. We understood, though, that the governor's decree was this is to help stabilize transit systems because of the rise in cost and whatever they need to utilize best. We learned about a week ago today during this meeting that ODOT in Columbus indicated that they could not use it as NOACA had presented it to the 5 counties for operational. It had to be a project. It had to be something to clean up the air quality.
My understanding is that, and I don't want to say it is coming down from ODOT, but I think ODOT is following some federal guidelines with regard to conduit money. the money comes from the federal government, it's conduit through ODOT, and then is brought out into your MPOs. And there may have been a misunderstanding out of the governor's office about what these type of funds could be used for. They're partially right with what they're saying, but the application may not be permissible under the federal guidelines. So I don't want to say that it's strictly an ODOT decision that's in contrary to the position of the governor. But we have a significant problem right now. And yeah, I know Cuyahoga County has got their problem, but we're facing a $500,000 hole by December without this money.
Well, Jim, if I remember correctly, though, you give me a second run. If it's a federal rule, I mean, that's always interpretation, isn't it? We're improving air quality, no different than Project 10 was when we went down there and fought those guys, and our program work. So if we can say mitigating the air quality problems is continuing to have buses on the road, I don't know why that wouldn't be an argument. I don't care if they get a finding against us.
Well, two things, Commissioner. Obviously, you know I'm always ready for a good scrap.
I know that. That's why I was asking. Sounded like you were getting soft on me.
I'm not getting soft on you, Commissioner.
Yes, you were.
But we are working on it, but it's going to take some time. And I know ODOT's working on it. The MPOs, I also don't want to get a misunderstanding. The MPOs are not against this either. So it's not as if we're running into local barriers or state barriers. We're running into this federal barrier, and we are going to push back. We always push back. But right now, that's going to take some time, and the dollars are not flowing.
Sorry, Tim, you're not getting your money. We're giving it to transit.
So what I'm here to tell you, Commissioners, is that you know we're at a critical point with our transportation services.
What do we have to draw down yet from the FTA? Do we have more drawdown dollars for the rest of the year to cover our expenses with MV?
I don't think we have enough to cover all of the expenses. We had $1 million yet to draw down by the end of the year. And remember, we spend over $330,000 every month, so.
That's just on the MV contract.
Yeah,
without
that's
the
just
other,
on that,
right.
without salaries and everything else. So I think there's truly going to be a shortfall. That's why we held the public hearings in June to cut transit so that it would be closer to living within the budget. RTA did the same thing when we found out that there might be this avenue of assistance. Both counties put, you know, those cuts on hold, and now here we are almost in November being told.
It wasn't really a discussion of the money. We were guaranteed the money. And at that point, we were ramping for fare increases, route reductions, and we were also had our letters prepared and our schedules prepared to go meet with the other political subdivisions that their constituents rely heavily on the public transportation to go make a plea to partner with us with some economics as best they could. We put that all on the shelf because we were getting this extra money, and it wasn't really the best time to go do that with all the money flowing in. Without this money, the commissioners have some tough decisions that they're going to have to make pretty quickly with regard to transit. I'm hopefully that by next week we'll know more about the SIGMEG money and which way it's going to go, but I wouldn't expect this to be resolved easily or quickly with regard to cash flow. I don't know exactly when, but we're going to run very, very quickly into a cash flow issue with regard to transit. Now, one of the things is if we're confident that we're going to prevail at the federal level, we can do advances into transit, and then we can pay ourselves back. And we have done that before when we've had a problem with the draw on our FTA dollars. But I'm probably going to have to ask you for that pretty soon, and I'm not going to be able to give you a guarantee because I can't be responsible for the thinking at the federal level. I can only tell you that we're working very hard to convince them that this money can be used in operations. I did a little research earlier in the week, and quite frankly, this money's never been used for operations before that I can find.
That's
There's a first time for everything. I would like to know just who is the decision maker in this process. We have representatives that we send to Washington on our behalf too, and I think we need to get a packet together and let them know of our need.
I think that is already being done. And
but I don't know about it, so I want to know about it.
Well, I'll have better reports for you. I just wanted to make you aware that this has been going on. It's only been a few days.
And the CMAG money is federal dollars, so they're in their first quarter. It doesn't make it any easier, but they're in their first quarter. This is a new program. It may have been released to other MPOs, but that may have been an error on the part of those other MPOs. So this is evolving almost by the hour.
I guess that'd be Virginia Ainsley then representing NOACA there at the federal level for lobbying, Commissioner. Isn't that Virginia?
Yeah, but I was talking about our
Police
federal
Marcy.
representatives,
I
yes,
understand that
MRC
too, but-
chapter, and yes, yes,
we
she
will-
certainly should know about it.
We will be working on it, but I felt at this point that you needed to be informed of it, and we need to do that publicly so that people understand the struggles we're having with the public transportation. It's not just a local issue. The state is very low in the amount of money that they put into public transportation as compared to other states. In fact, they're in the bottom 10 percentile. And also at the federal level, there's been a reluctancy to continue to provide adequate resources back to the states to be able to fund public transportation. The commuter rail is getting some attention, but they're not getting a lot of dollars either. And we need to make sure that the public transportation infrastructure that's already established is supported, as well as new initiatives to ensure that we don't wake up again and find that a gallon of gas is $4.25. Right now, the worst thing that happens to public transportation is a good thing. It's an oxymoron here. The price of gas comes down, everybody forgets about public transportation until the price of gas goes up. So while we've gotten some relief in the fuel end of it, people have now moved on to other issues of the moment and forgot all about that we were just a few short months ago saying we have to put more dollars and investments into our public transportation infrastructure. So it's the catch-22 with regard to that.
It's a big catch.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Under Job and Family, purchases an IBM server and server maintenance from CDWG in the amount of $5,676, which is needed to upgrade the imaging department.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under Children's Services, authorize various additions and deletions in the personnel to utilize the agency's Visa card for the year 2008, not to exceed 2,500, 10,000, 20,000, and Shell Oil Gas Card not to exceed 200. Expenditures are work related to conferences, food, lodging, telephone, gas, and oil. Minor vehicle maintenance and emergency repairs of county-owned or leased vehicles.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Under Domestic, award bid to Southeast Security Corporation, Sharon Center, Ohio, in the amount of $33,085 for the upgrade to the video surveillance system for the Boys and Girls Detention Home to be paid from the DH equipment account. 3 bids were received on September 15th, this being the most responsive, complying with specifications.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under the engineer, authorize Ohio Logos to install a tourist direction sign in the right-of-way on Baumhart Road, 475 feet south of US 20 and 13 feet from the edge of paved berm. Ohio Logos, Inc. has a contract with ODOT to install signs on rural state highways.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Cortez, County Administrator?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Just want to say that this is our last meeting before Election Day. I want to wish both of our incumbent commissioners that are up for re-election good luck. I think that it's been a great 4 years. I think we've done a lot of good work. I hope everybody believes that we've done a lot of good work, but I know what we've been able to accomplish with the new administration here the last 4 years. I encourage our residents to get out and vote and make a difference. It's going to be a historical election, no matter which side wins. I'm sure Mr. Kayla already knows which side's going to win. He usually does. But either way, we're going to see some significant changes at the national level that's going to move the country forward and into the next evolutionary process of democracy. So please get out and vote. Please let your vote count, and I hope that at the end of the day next week that we're celebrating here in Lorain County. Thank you.
Mr. Ennis, Assistant County.
Commissioners, I have several things. First of all, last week we talked about the Marks Road sanitary sewer. We need to get together, myself, Mr. Cordez, the engineers department, and Wayne Bishop need to get together with the petitioners to discuss that, and I think we're trying to get a meeting scheduled in the next few days, so that matter will have to be delayed until we resolve those issues. Secondly, with respect to the Lorain City CRA litigation, the City of Lorain has filed another lawsuit. This is against Judge Betleski, suggesting that he has no jurisdiction in the case that is currently pending before him. Since we represent various parties in the underlying litigation, we have another conflict of interest, and we cannot represent Judge Betleski with that. Over the course of years, we have kind of had a running arrangement with various other prosecuting offices where we kind of trade off services. So Dean Holman, the prosecuting attorney of Medina, has agreed to allow their assistant prosecutor, Brian Richter, come over here and represent Judge Betleski without any charge to the county. However, we still need to go through that process of asking, and Judge Betleski is on board with this, but we still need to go through the process of asking the court to approve that appointment. I'm having a formal resolution, but I do need a resolution in which the commissioners agree to join the prosecuting attorney and petition the courts to have Brian Richter appointed to represent Judge Betleski in that case.
Also move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
I'm recused. Correct, Jerry?
Right. Tim, I may be tracking you down later on that. So. We also have pending the matter of Mr. Chandra's fees. We've had some productive conversations regarding this entire litigation, so I want to try and resolve this, but I'm having some difficulties getting Mr. Chandra to understand the breakdown we're seeking, that we want his bill to break down what case we're coming to, and I'm just having difficulty explaining the need to that. Teresa, do you know what the total amount of that bill is?
It's about $28,000.
Clearly, a large part of it was for work performed before the case was dismissed, and he's entitled to do that. So I would recommend to the commissioners that at this point we approve like something like 75 or 80% of that bill, so we can at least get some of it paid while we're trying
Are
to
you
work out the
sure that
rest
it
of
was prior to the determination that he did not have legal standing? Is that what you're asking, or you're saying?
Well, it was prior to the determination where we dismissed our action.
Is the bill detailed billing?
No.
It's
It
not
just goes
detailed
by
billing?
the month. It doesn't say what it's for.
I mean, I have the bill in my office.
No detailed billing?
You know, I don't think it's too much to ask somebody to submit an itemized billing.
Okay, that was
I'm not ready to pay
just a
that.
suggestion, okay.
Yeah, I don't mean to be contrary, but we have all various legal bills and things like that. We always have detailed billing, on issue by hour and so forth, of a breakdown so we can verify the work that's been accomplished.
Okay, well then we're still working on that.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay.
Commissioners report.
Well, first of all, I want to let everybody know that Monday and Tuesday, November 10th and 11th, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., there's free car washes for veterans. It's honorably discharged veterans, widows of veterans, and parents of deceased veterans, and that is at Liberty Soft Cloth Auto Wash, and that is 4185 Liberty Avenue in Vermillion. Sunday before Sherrod Brown's Big Spaghetti Dinner, I had the opportunity to go to the American Legion in Elyria to welcome the Fighting 5th District for their fall conference, and it was really nice. They had a really big turnout. And this weekend also, my assistant Sherry and her husband John Penna's son Johnny graduated from boot camp from the Army, so we're really proud of him. It was a big Veterans Weekend for me, so that's my report.
Not going to go through all the dating we did this past week together?
No.
I'd like to thank Mark Telerik and the Avon Lake PTA. Nice job with their debate. The high school students did a very good job facilitating. Then I had an opportunity after I stopped at Gus's in Sheffield Village, sit down and eat, have something to eat, 9 o'clock at night. I ran the 1957 Brookside High School class having a dinner together, so I got to talk about my dad for a while, so that was kind of nice. Also met with ODOT this past week with State Senator Morano. This was last Friday. Mayor Krishenko, Councilman Flores, Councilman Molnar, Councilman Zabo. Oh, who else do we have there? There was a whole bunch of us in the room going over the problems with the bridge in Lorain. Basically, the parts don't line up, but come to find out, the bridge is supposed to go through a major update every 10 years. In 1998, it only had preventive maintenance, so it's been 20 years, and the new computers, they don't talk to computers from 20 years ago. Didn't have a major upgrade 10 years ago, so I'm guessing that's due to the budget. Ohio's definitely a battleground state. We've seen more national officials here between Senator Glenn, Sherrod, Strickland, Governor Bill Richardson. I mean, we've got them all coming in here, so please get out and vote. Also attended the BI Economic Forecast, part of it the other night for the Regional Building Industries Association. We all have concerns as trades guys. Also, we've got going on, a friend of mine emailed me. Please vote for the CW Star, wwhotv.com. We have another local girl, Brittany Jarina from Amherst,
Oh, Brittany.
attempting to get on a reality TV show. And our dad sent me an email. We've been friends for forever. So please, if you get an opportunity, support our local kids. Maybe with somebody like an Jesse Sensei. So that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Commissioners. Just a reminder that the Lorain County Community Alliance has the countywide trick-or-treat schedule carried on their website, which is lccommunityalliance.com. If you have a question about your community, you can check it out there. Secondly, I'm pleased to announce that the Lorain County Community Alliance has been awarded an $80,000 collaboration grant from the Ohio Department of Development to conduct a stormwater management study that will investigate the options and feasibility of alternatives to the existing fragmented approach by individual governments to address flood control issues. And there were 53 applicants for this money, and only 15 were awarded, so we're very pleased to have received that. And last night, I attended Lorain County Beautiful Awards, and I was pleased to be to introduce a speaker who was Neil Zurcher. Neil started out his career at WEOL, according to their website, and he's quite a career for himself, so I was pleased to do that. And is Karen Davis? She is. And Karen Davis has an announcement to make to us about the Lorain County Beautiful Awards last night.
I was very pleased to go to the Beautiful Awards meeting yesterday evening. There were a lot of very nice things happening in the county. It was nice to be able to see those. There were 6 different categories that there were finalists in as far as projects throughout the county. The Lorain County Transportation Center was nominated for a Beautiful Award for historical rehabilitation. And very happy to say, we did receive a Beautiful Award. So kudos to the commissioners for
Hold it up, Karen.
supporting our project.
There you go. Stop moving it so Hal can get it.
All right, Hal, where you at?
All right, just stand still. He'll find you. There you
Beautiful.
go.
There you go.
There was a lot of stiff competition out there, so
Okay, good, Karen.
we
There
did
sure
good this
was.
year. And turn this over to you guys.
Thank you. And I thank Karen because she was the nominator of that award. I also want to thank her for all the work she's done on the Transportation Center. Reminding you all that it's in the second phase now, and when there's money, we'll be ready for the train.
Hopefully,
you're
we'll
to be
still all be
commended,
here.
too.
Well, I don't need to be commended. It's been the longest-running project I've ever worked on in my whole career.
Well, you know,
I think I'll be sitting in the audience before we
perseverance
die.
pays off. They have a wheelchair ramp so you can get on too.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And let's remind everybody that the money for that project is not coming out of the general fund, because after the last meeting, when we talked about the transportation center, I started getting the phone calls and had to explain that.
I thought we did a fairly accurate job here, too. I don't know which piece they
Sometimes people don't read
misunderstood.
through the entire article, they just see the beginning and then they get upset.
Yeah, these are federal dollars that are being matched with very old local dollars for the procurement of the property, and they're very, very leveraged, and there should be no additional local dollars in this project, even through its conclusion, because we have enough match money. So we're bringing federal dollars back to Lorain County.
The match money is not actual money out of our pocket, it's from when we bought the property.
Correct.
It's going to be the continued match. So
Correct.
people need to know that we're not matching our actual dollars.
Correct, Commissioner.
Okay.
We keep saying it, I don't know, I'm going to take up some foreign language classes.
Keep it simple. Just make it simple.
Okay, cool.
Commissioners will send a proclamation to Carol Rammer for 16 years of service at Job and Families. Board correspondence.
Move the reading be waived.
Second?
Discussion. Ms.
Aye.
Blair? Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Public comment?
Is there anyone in the audience? Thank you for attending. I move we go into executive session for the purposes outlined by the administrator, and if Jerry has had any, I don't think he did. Okay.
I'll second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend. Carpooling, a great way to save on fuel, tolls, and parking. Serving 13 counties, secure and safe Ohio rideshare makes it easy to connect with carpool partners safely. You control information shared. Discuss your destinations and needs through our safe site. Carpooling reduces pollution and traffic congestion, while it lowers stress and gives riders time to read, work, sleep, socialize. 1-800-825-RIDE or register online at ohiorideshare.com. Point, click, ride.
Unsightly litter is often the result of well-intentioned people like you and me being careless at the curb, around business areas, and at work sites. Lucky the Ladybug, Ohio's first lady of litter prevention, says nobody wants to live or work around trash. Litter lowers property values and it's costly to clean up.
Keep Lorain County beautiful. Put the lid on trash.
Doing there. Here, have a treat, okay? No one can deny the loving devotion we get from our dogs, and I think we all agree we get back more love than we give them. I'm Dick Goddard. I'm reminding you, if you share your love with a dog, you'll never regret it. There's really nothing like a dog to spark up your life, whether you're a youngster, a senior citizen, or somewhere in between. And dogs have a whole lot of affection to share. Okay, is that good? You don't have to go far to hear heartwarming adoption stories.
With my husband is like saying man's best friend. He truly loves that dog. He feels it's part human. It's his second daughter, as Erica said. It's definitely a prize. She's queen of the house, basically. She's a good lover. She gives us a lot of attention. She's a good girl.
We had a cat before we had Abby, and Abby adapted very well. She is best friends with that cat. She will not harm that cat in any way. She's amazing. I love her. When I'm in bed at night, Abby will jump up with me and she will pull the covers back and she will lay under the covers and lay her head on the pillow just like a human.
I encourage anyone to go to the Lorain County Kennel to adopt a dog. It's given our family great satisfaction and a great reward.
After, you know, a bad day at work or anytime you come home, it's just always nice. They kind of turn your mood around when you come in the door, and they wagging their tails and jumping on you, and it's a great feeling to know that they're happy to see you and that they love you just as much as you love them. She is good with our other dog. She's good with people. She likes attention, and she likes to cuddle up with you.
It's funny when Lily, when you kind of discipline her sometimes when she does something bad, or she always seems to roll on her back and put her paws in the air and just look up at you with a sad look. So it's kind of hard to even get mad at her when she does something like that. So we kind of laugh at that.
And it's always amusing when she does get a spurt of energy and want to run around, and we're always like, oh my gosh, Lily's going to play now.
Yeah,
so
like sometimes, like when I'm on the couch or whatever, and she'll hop down, and she always like tries to bite her own tail, and then that kind of like keys on our other dog, Rocky, to chime in and try to, you know, bite at her tail a little bit, and then they start playing around a little bit.
One day we came home with some food from, I just really wanted a burger. So we had a burger, and I had it sitting on the tray table by the couch, and I got up for a minute and got a drink, came back, and Lily was licking her lips. She had eaten the whole thing, and I was not very happy with her. So I screamed and told Kurt to come down and get her away from me because I was just so upset. But we both lived, and I was fine afterwards. One of the best things about adopting a dog from the kennel, at least for us, was, again, just giving this dog, who knows what would have happened to her, a new life, and also giving our other dog a companion during the day. It's just fun to have the two dogs and take them for walks and watch them play, and it brought us closer as well.
You know, it just makes you feel better as a person that, you know, you're giving a dog a better chance to live a life.
Actually, I enjoy the exercise because I need to, trying to lose weight. Salem makes me get out of the house every day, and so I have to take him for a walk, even if I don't want to. And he's not that much trouble because he was pretty much housebroken when I got him from the pound. I really like the older pet because Salem was kind of, whoever had him before, they really kind of housebroken, so I didn't really have to go through the potty training deal. I just had to let him out and find a place for him to go. And I think older pets, especially for people who don't have children, are kind of good because Salem, he's real playful, but he's not, he gets tired and he lays down and he doesn't want to be bothered, and that's fine with me. So he's not always wanting to play, you know, because puppies have a lot of energy. And Salem has quite a bit of energy, but sometimes he just lays on his pillow and he's like, don't bother me, I won't bother you. And sometimes when he wants to play, and that's okay. I got Salem at the Lorain County Dog Pound. I found him on the internet, actually. They had his picture on the internet, and so I called and he was still there, and so I immediately went over and looked at him. We went outside and played, and he jumped in the car and wouldn't get out, and there we were. So we were on our way home. So it was love at first sight. He's a very good companion. I can always depend on him to be here and greet me with, you know, open arms when I come in the door. He's very protective of me, and he lets me know when anyone is outside or in the driveway. So I feel safe with Salem. You know, even though he's a small dog, he gives me a safe feeling just in my own home. If I'm having a bad day sometimes and I'm just not in a real good mood, you know, he'll come up and snuggle up to me like, hey Mom, it's okay. I think other people should adopt a pet, and even an older dog. The Lorain County Pound has so many wonderful dogs. All you have to do is go over there and look. I mean, even now, I still go on the website and I tell Salem, don't you want a little brother or sister? Because they have all these little cute dogs over there, and they all need good homes. And if you're looking to adopt a pet, I suggest you try the Lorain County Dog Pound first. I mean, you pay for the license and just a nominal fee, and you got a great dog and a great companion and somebody that's going to be in your life for the rest of your life and they'll love you no matter what.
Hello, my fellow commissioners and I are here at the Lorain County Dog Kennel on Hathaway Street. just south of a Lurie City Discount, Value City. We invite you to stop out and see the facility here. We have lots of dogs available for adoption. We also encourage all dog owners to register your dog each year and get a dog license. That's your dog's ticket home in case it gets lost. It has a number and can easily be identified so that your dog can be returned to you in case he or she might take a little walk and you are unaware of it.
Along with the regular licensing that the county requires for all dogs, we also have a special dog license. It's a special heart medical care license tag for an additional $5. And the proceeds from that go to help us when we pick up a stray that's injured, hurt, or needs extreme medical care. It helps defer the cost for us. So next time you get your dog license, please pick up the special heart tag.
The Lorain County Commissioners would like to welcome you to come down to the Lorain County Dog Kennel. We also have a website that you can check out. Just click on Dogs to Adopt. There's plenty of dogs to choose from. It's like this little girl right here. This is Sadie. You can come down, make sure it's a good match for you, take the dog out, take it for a walk. But please, if you're thinking about adopting a dog, come out to the Lorain County Dog Kennel and see if there's a match for you.
Give the Lorain County Dog Kennel a call or check their website for photos of currently available dogs. Remember, your best friend is just waiting for you.
In 1787, the Continental Congress organized the lands from the Ohio River to the Mississippi into the Northwest Territories. In 1803, the first of these territories to become a state was Ohio. Ohio was in turn divided into various land grants, including the Connecticut Western Reserve in the northeast corner of the state. The Western Reserve included the area that is today Lorain County. As Ohio gradually increased its counties to the present 88, the land we know as Lorain County went through several changes. Until 1810, the area was split between Geauga and Portage counties. When the area was being organized into Lorain County in 1822, it was created out of land from Huron, Cuyahoga, and Medina counties. At the time of its birth, Lorain County included Olmsted Township, now in Cuyahoga County, Spencer and Homer Townships, now in Medina County, and Troy and Sullivan Townships, now in Ashland County. This map illustrates the county as it appeared at the time of Ohio's centennial, and although some of the townships have been absorbed by incorporation, it also represents the shape of Lorain County today. Let's take a brief historical look at each of Lorain County's 21 townships. In 1807, the Calvin Hoadley and Herman Bronson families of Waterbury, Connecticut, began the settlement of Columbia. After a 3-month trek, the pioneers arrived in their new homeland in time to celebrate Christmas. The Bronsons, including their 7-month-old son, began that winter sheltered by their overturned bobsled wagon, converted into a frontier lean-to. The mouth of the Black River also saw the beginning of its first settlement in 1807, when Azariah Beebe established a trading post for Nathan Perry. This area, which 20 years earlier had seen a short-lived Moravian mission, would gradually grow into the village of Charleston in the township called Black River. Years later, this township would be removed from county maps because of the incorporation of the city of Lorain. Charleston adopted the county's name of Lorain when the city was incorporated in 1874. The dramatic growth of the city was spurred on by the expanding fishing and shipbuilding industries. In 1894, when Tom Johnson brought his steel mill to town, Lorain's destiny to be the county's largest city was assured. In 1813, the township of Ridgeville was officially organized. 3 years earlier, members of the Beebe, Terrell, and Root families had established this new settlement they called Rootstown. The change to Ridgeville was decided upon to indicate the sand ridges that passed through the area and provided transportation routes and fertile farmland. The area around the intersection of Butternut Ridge and Roots Road, first called Briggs Corner, was by 1880 known as Fields Corners and was the site of the town's water well. With the growth of the city of North Ridgeville, the township of Ridgeville was incorporated out of existence. In 1810, Silas Wilmot, along with Asa and Ira Morgan, erected a cabin on Butternut Ridge, and the community later called Eaton Township was begun. Wilmot married Chloe Hubbard of Ashtabula, and they were given the cabin, thereby becoming the township's pioneering couple. When Ridgeville Township was organized in 1813, it included Eaton, which was at that time called Holbrook. While the area was still a part of Cuyahoga County, the township of Eaton was separated from Ridgeville. Its first officers were elected in 1823, while the township was in transition to the new Lorain County. Amherst's township's founding can be traced to one Jacob Shoup. After first settling on the Black River, he moved in 1811 to the Beaver Creek. By 1815, he had erected a grist mill and the area's first distillery. Whiskeyville, today the intersection of Routes 58 and 113, earned its nickname as a center for the production of this important pioneer commodity. As the primary community of the township developed at the Old Spring, it came to be known as Amherst Corners. By 1836, the name Amherstville was recorded in the county offices, and in 1873, the town was incorporated as North Amherst. In 1909, the U.S. Postal Service had to choose between the villages of North and South Amherst. They chose the former, which then became the official and present-day Amherst. In 1917, in the northeast corner of the county, the township of Avon became another of Lorain County's 21 townships to vanish due to city incorporation. In 1814, Wilbur Cahoon had arrived from Montgomery County, New York, to become the first to settle in what was then Troy Township of Cuyahoga County. The farming community grew around its power source, the French Creek. Development along the interurban line would incorporate the northern part of the township into the city of Avon Lake in 1911, with the remainder of the township becoming the village of Avon in 1917. It was families such as the Burrell, Day, and Roots who established themselves in the Sheffield area in 1815 and 16. The township of Sheffield would not actually be created until 1824, when the newly elected Lorain County Commissioners made the township one of the first acts of their administration. The land had been primarily in Cuyahoga County prior to the 1822 reorganization. The southwest corner of the township was in Huron County and is today the only place to find a small section still called Sheffield Township. The remainder of the area has been incorporated, like its neighbor Avon, with the north becoming Sheffield Lake and the south the village of Sheffield. In 1816, Colonel Henry Brown of Stockbridge, Massachusetts, purchased a large tract of land known as Number 6, Range 19. Mr. Brown would later name the township after himself by simply adding Helm to his family name. Like the Old Saxon Ham, the suffix meant home. The Deacon Shepherd family were the first settlers when they arrived on July 4, 1817. The village of Brownhelm Mills, located in Benjamin Bacon's Mill Hollow, was one of 3 communities to develop. Bacon's Corners, or the center, was 3 miles east of the hollow. while just west of the hollow was Rugby, where stores, a church, a school, and the post office were located. The first settlers to the Grafton Township area were Jonathan and Grendall Rawson in 1816. 10 years later, the Rawsons were forced to build a grist mill, or forfeit their land under their original agreement with the Western Reserve Land Company. Railroads and quarries were the greatest influence on the growth of the village the locals called Rawsonville. The quarrying industry in particular was responsible for the influx of French-Canadian, Welsh, Irish, Polish, and German immigrants. In 1877, when the village was being incorporated, the name Rawsonville was dropped in favor of the railroad station name of Grafton. Originally a part of Elyria Township, Carlisle was settled in 1816 by John Bacon of Windham County, Vermont. When the new Lorain County was being organized in 1822, Carlisle Township became its own entity. LaPorte developed as the township village with Phineas Johnson as the first postmaster and hotel owner. In 1840, Anson Brayman's Carlisle Nursery became the first of its kind in Lorain County. Quarrying was another important industry of the township, as the sandstone blocks were used for city buildings as far away as Toronto. Founding father Heman Ely owned over 10,000 acres of the land that would be developed into the township of Elyria, and the city, which also bears his family name. In 1817, Artemus Beebe headed a work crew that came to establish a new village at the Y of the Black River branches. Mills were constructed and the main street cleared. Beebe's crew also erected a home for Mr. Ely at Broad and East Bridge Streets, and a home for himself across the street, which became the Beebe Tavern. Both structures avoided demolition until well into the 20th century. In 1822, Mr. Ely spearheaded the movement to create Lorain County. He donated the land for the county courthouse, thus influencing the choice of Elyria as the county seat. Mr. Ely's little village would develop into a city with a varied industrial base, as well as the center of government for Lorain County. Simon Durand came to America as an interpreter for Revolutionary War hero French General Lafayette. Durand remained in the new nation, and in the winter of 1817 moved from New York State to the 160 acres he had purchased south of Brownhelm. 10 years later, the population of the area was enough to support the formation of a new township. With the southern portion ceded to Brighton and the northern portion annexed from Brownhelm, the township of Henrietta was created in 1827. Although New England families represented the majority of settlers to the area in 1818, one of the pioneers was William Welling of Montgomery County, New York. History is not clear if the community was named in honor of Welling or for the famous English Duke of Wellington, hero of Europe's recent Napoleonic Wars. With the coming of the railroad, Wellington grew into an agricultural marketplace, and in fact was the nation's leader in cheese production from 1870 to 1900. The county fair, now located in Wellington, helps to continue the depiction of small-town America shown in native son Archibald Willard's famous painting, The Spirit of '76. In 1818, Joseph Sage and the family of his son-in-law, John Laborie, journeyed through a severe winter from Connecticut to their new homestead in Huntington Township. More pioneering families came to the area, and by 1822, the population was such that the Medina County Commissioners incorporated the township, using the Huntington, Connecticut hometown of many of the settlers as its new name. Lumber, grain, and cheese dominated the local economy. In 1824, when Lorain County came into full operation, Huntington was transferred from Medina County. The citizens of Old Russia Township, that had been first settled in 1818, requested detachment from Black River Township in 1825. The town and college of Oberlin were founded in 1833 and would grow to dominate the area. The Oberlin concept combined a Christian community and a Christian coeducational institute. Through the influence of founders John Shippard and Philo Stewart, New York businessman Arthur Tappan, and noted evangelist Charles Finney, the college would become not only co-ed, but also multiracial and the nation's leader in the abolitionist movement. The independent spirit that created the first Russia Township was evident once again in 1992, as New Russia Township detached itself from Oberlin. In 1820, the Peter Penfield family began the permanent settlement of the area he had first selected in the fall of 1818. Penfield Township's organizational election was held in April of 1825. The first religious service was held in 1826, and the first school was in session in the summer of 1829. The township's first post office put the emphasis on post and not the office. As the Penfields lived well off the established mail route, a hollow tree near the river was used by the local residents for sending and receiving the mail. The township, with its fertile soil, grew into a part of Lorain County's rich agricultural heritage. In the fall of 1820, Abner Loveland Jr. became the first permanent settler of Brighton. Within a year, the families of Joseph Kingsbury and Abner Loveland Sr. had arrived, and the new community began to grow. With elections held in the spring of 1823, Brighton Township was being organized at the same time the area was being transferred from Medina to Lorain County. Like much of the new county, Brighton was essentially agricultural. Although Pittsfield's first settlers arrived in 1813, the area was considered too dangerous because of the British and Indian activity connected to the War of 1812. By 1820, the land was surveyed, and Milton Whitney became the owner of a large parcel. Whitney arranged for the Waite brothers of Russia Township to become the first permanent settlers in the spring of 1821. By 1831, there were enough residents to request that the county incorporate a township independent of Wellington. Pittsfield was chosen as the township's name to honor the Massachusetts hometown of many of the area's pioneers. LaGrange Township's first settler was Nathan Clark, who in the fall of 1825 established his new homestead on the east branch of the Black River. By the summer of 1826, 14 more settlers had arrived. The name LaGrange, which is French for the farm, was chosen to honor French General Lafayette, as it was also the name of his country estate. In 1827, the area was separated from Carlisle Township and reorganized with elections in April into the new township of LaGrange. By 1875, the center had grown into a village, also incorporated as LaGrange. The pioneer settler of the Camden area was Leonard Clark. Over the next 4 years, other families moved into the area, including Roswell Babcocks, who built the first frame house in 1833. Early on, the area was divided between Henrietta and Brighton townships. In 1835, the new township of Camden was created by the county commissioners, and the first elections held in April of 1836. When the first post office was established in 1835, the community was called Panelise. The name was changed to Camden, then later to North Camden. In 1852, the Lake Shore and Michigan Southern Railroad called its station Binghamton, but that was soon changed as the town adopted the name Kipton. Kipton's more important connection to the railroad was a tragic collision in 1891. The wreck was instrumental in the creation of standardized or railroad time. Rochester was the last township within the present-day boundaries of Lorain County to be settled. Stephen Babcock brought his family from Massachusetts in the spring of 1832 to settle on land he had prepared the previous year. The area grew quickly, and by 1835, the commissioners formed a new township with the first elections held in April of 1836. The township's farming and related businesses grew with the population. By 1880, close to 700 citizens lived in the area. The population shifted from Rochester Center to Rochester Station when the Big 4 Railroad came through the township. The small-town boom would turn to bust when the railroad eliminated Rochester as a scheduled stop. The depot would be used as a schoolhouse, as the home of the Rochester Rod and Gun Club, and today as the home of the Rochester Historical Society.
Pedestrian injuries represent the second largest number in motor-related deaths. In the current report by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, of the 812 traffic fatalities for children ages 5 to 9, almost one-third, that's 254, were pedestrian fatalities. These numbers were just very staggering to me in this office. Most of these were from pedestrian crossings, children not educated in crossing streets where there are sidewalks and obviously stoplights, or where there are no sidewalks and there are stop signs. So basically, it was based on the fact that they aren't getting proper education, or they hadn't any education on how to cross streets with sidewalks or without sidewalks. So that's what really got us motivated to look into this and do something about it.
County Engineer's Office is quite proud to announce that the Safe Routes to School program has been initiated throughout Lorain County. We're very excited about this. To help these children from grades K to 4, teaching them to walk the streets safely is very important to us. We've seen statistics that quite frankly shock us. Many times we read and see stories of pedestrians being hit by automobiles in Lorain County, and it just tears my heart to see these children from K to 4 part of that. This program is to stop that, to help diminish those type of situations, and to educate these children on crossing the street safely. And we're quite happy to announce that.
Most of our workshop was developed and made in-house. Simulated sidewalks, simulated streets. We have actual working stoplights. We have the pedestrian crossing signs that actually work. We have operational railroad crossings. We also have the regular road signs, like your pedestrian crossing, your stop sign, your railroad sign. So we have all of these different things that the children can not only visualize, but then we actually interact the children in those situations so they can not only see, but they can use these in their learning abilities on how to cross the streets with and without sidewalks. We've had so many good responses back from the children, and of course it's just like anything else with children. When you ask for volunteers, when you're talking in a group of 60 and you can only have 8, it's amazing at the hands that go up. You know, does anybody want to volunteer? Well, everybody wants to volunteer. We make them go over these skills that we're trying to teach them, not only the volunteers, but the group as a whole. So basically we have the whole class interacting. So if they say left, right, left, behind you, in front of you once, they say it at least 8 or 10 times before the workshop is over. So we've had many teachers and many principals tell us, and we even had one child that came up to us and said, you know what, Ms. Spansky, we were going to cross the street the other day, and we remembered, look left, look right, look left. So that was very rewarding. And so I think the repetition, the interaction with the children and with the items in our workshop is very important to them and to us. Before you even go into the safety part of it, they're in awe over the traffic light, and then our railroad crossing signals actually work. So they're just like, oh, ooh. And we get up there and we tell them, and we even give them some trick questions. You know, we'll say, well, we can see that train all the way down the track. Do you think we can make it, because you're fast and I'm fast and we can run? And of course they're very enthusiastic and no, we shouldn't do this. So we teach them that in some urban areas you will not have the gates that come down to keep you actually from crossing, that you may just have two sets of tracks, and just because one goes by and the signals stop doesn't mean that another one can't come from the other direction. So we tell them it's very, very imperative that they stay back from the tracks and they wait till those signals stop and to look both ways. And even once those signals stop, to look both ways, and they should never run across the railroad tracks. They should walk and continue to look both ways, because it's not safe and they could fall, they could injure themselves. If they're alone, if they're not with someone, it could be very dangerous, because not only could they injure themselves, they may not have help if there is a train coming, because they are so small. And as you know, some of those tracks are very large, and you're talking in kindergarten through 4th grade, some of those children are very small children. The main thing is that we tell them that only you know when it's safe. You have to make that ultimate decision. So make sure that you know that it's safe before you cross those railroad tracks or a street. One of the other things that we cover in the safety workshop, and it's also repeated in our video, children don't have that perception of the miles per hour. It's very dangerous. And the same thing with trains. We tell them that train could take, you know, forever. It's way down there, but we don't know the actual miles per hour. We decided to use 2 different videos. The first one is geared for kindergarten and 1st grade, and that is Otto the Otto, put out by AAA.
Hi, kids. A lot of times you have to walk to get to places. And when you're walking, you have to be especially careful of cars and bicycles. Oh no, those kids are walking the wrong way. That's dangerous. I'm going to talk with these kids. Down at the clubhouse, they're talking about the safe way to walk on streets without sidewalks.
I say you can walk across the street anywhere you want, as long as you look first. And don't get squished flat by a car. That's a fairly simple way of looking at safety. There are actual rules and laws for walking. Yeah, but the most important one is you don't get squished flat. Who's right, Maggie? Patrick or us?
I guess in a sense, everyone's right. The main idea is to get there safely, but there are some rules to help you get there safely, like don't run out into the street without looking.
The second video, we show 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, and it is put together by the National Safety Council along with Honda, and they developed the first humanoid robot.
Hey, Osmo. What's up, Osmo? How's it going? Osmo, this is Michael. Michael, this is Osmo.
How come you're dressed in a robot suit? It's not a suit. I'm a real robot. My name, Osimo, stands for Advanced Step in Innovative Mobility. I'm the world's most advanced humanoid robot. I can walk forwards, backwards, and even climb stairs just like a human. So, what's the first rule about crossing the street?
Stopping at curbs.
Correct. First, always stop at the curb. Then make sure no cars are coming. You want to look left.
It's clear.
Then right to see if any cars are coming from the other direction.
That's clear too.
Cars move fast. There might already be a new car to the left. So look left again.
Car coming.
See what I mean? Okay, he's gone.
Kids love this. They relate to Osimo as well as the younger children relate to Otto, who is an animated automobile. And he tells them about crossing streets. Osimo does the same thing, and he actually goes through with the children and tells them how to cross the street at an intersection with a traffic light, with a pedestrian crossing. He also teaches them how to cross because a lot of children at schools have parked cars. He goes over the issues of how to cross when there are parked cars. So he does a number of different things, how to cross the street when there are no sidewalks. So they both cover the basic skills. One is just geared a little bit more for the different age groups. Our response has been amazing, not only from the children. We have received numerous cards. I have a whole box of thank yous from children from the schools where we have that have participated in our workshop. We've had nothing but a positive response back throughout the communities that we visited this year.
I think it was really nice because they had a real life robot talk to you about safety, and you got to actually do what he said was safe. He said when there are parked cars to make sure there are no drivers in before you cross the street.
I saw that we could know what to do when there's like cars coming, not to go in the middle of the road so you don't get hurt. You have to look left, right, left, behind the shoulder, and then straight. If they don't know how to stop at sidewalks, then I'll tell them how to. If they don't know how to cross without sidewalks, then I'll tell them how to do that too, because that's what we learned. I think that it was good because I didn't know that you had to look 5 ways, which were left, right, left, and then over your shoulder, and then ahead of you. I thought that crossing the road was really good for little kids if they don't know what to do by crossing the road.
It's a good idea because, like I said, the kids could walk through the whole process of crossing streets with the crosswalk, without a crosswalk, at the intersection. What happens if you're crossing in between 2 parked cars? Those are things that parents don't teach their kids. They go to Safety Town and they learn left, look right, look left again, and they go. And even my own son, who's a kindergartner, he just did Safety Town, and I still catch him flying across the street. And all I have to do is say, Matthew, remember Osimo? And he stops and he thinks and he does all the steps that he was taught in the video.
It was a great refresher, especially for them, now knowing, what to do and kind of even additional things that they may not have been told or considered before.
Most of the kids did their little safety program back when they were getting ready to go to kindergarten. They start out learning all those safety rules. Then as time goes on, if you don't reinforce those safety rules and keep telling them, just like we do as adults, we think we're safe. We don't have to follow those rules anymore. We can do what we want. We can take a chance and run across the road. And I think this program was very good at reinforcing the fact that even though we're growing up, we still have to be careful. We still have to follow the signs. We still have to follow the railroad crossings, especially around here in Amherst. We tend to have a little trouble with the railroad crossings and kids wanting to play on them. So I think it was a good review. I think it was done in a fun, learning way, and the kids really enjoyed it. We were very happy to have everyone here at St. Joseph's School. If it saves one life, we feel like we've made a contribution. It's our way to give back to the communities.
Lucky, how you doing there? Here, have a treat, okay? No one can deny the loving devotion we get from our dogs, and I think we all agree we get back more love than we give them. I'm Dick Goddard. I'm reminding you, if you share your love with a dog, you'll never regret it. There's really nothing like a dog to spark up your life, whether you're a youngster, a senior citizen, or somewhere in between. And dogs have a whole lot of affection to share. Okay, is that good? You don't have to go far to hear heartwarming adoption stories.
With my husband is like saying man's best friend. He truly loves that dog. He feels it's part human. It's his second daughter, as Erica said. It's definitely a prize. She's queen of the house, basically. She's a good lover. She gives us a lot of attention. She's a good girl.
We had a cat before we had Abby, and Abby adapted very well. She is best friends with that cat. She will not harm that cat in any way. She's amazing. I love her. When I'm in bed at night, Abby will jump up with me and she will pull the covers back and she will lay under the covers and lay her head on the pillow just like a human.
I encourage anyone to go to the Lorain County Kennel to adopt a dog. It's given our family great satisfaction and a great reward.
After, a bad day at work or anytime you come home, it's just always nice. They kind of turn your mood around when you come in the door and they wagging their tails and jumping on you, and it's a great feeling to know that they're happy to see you and that they love you just as much as you love them. She is good with our other dog. She's good with people. She likes attention, and she likes to cuddle up with you.
It's funny when Lily, when you kind of discipline her sometimes when she does something bad, or she always seems to roll on her back and put her paws in the air and just look up at you with a sad look. So it's kind of hard to even get mad at her when she does something like that. So we kind of laugh at that.
And it's always amusing when she does get a spurt of energy and want to run around, and we're always like, oh my gosh, Lily's going to play now.
Yeah,
so
like sometimes, when I'm on the couch or whatever, and she'll hop down, and she always tries to bite her own tail, and then that kind of keys on our other dog, Rocky, to chime in and try to, bite at her tail a little bit, and then they start playing around a little bit.
One day we came home with some food from, I just really wanted a burger. So we had a burger and I had it sitting on the tray table by the couch, and I got up for a minute and got a drink, came back, and Lily was licking her lips. She had eaten the whole thing. And I was not very happy with her, so I screamed and told Kurt to come down and get her away from me because I was just so upset. But we both lived, and I was fine afterwards. One of the best things about adopting a dog from the kennel, at least for us, was, again, just giving this dog, who knows what would have happened to her, a new life, and also giving our other dog a companion during the day. It's just fun to have the two dogs and take them for walks and watch them play, and it brought us closer as well.
It just makes you feel better as a person that, you're giving a dog a better chance to live a life.
Actually, I enjoy the exercise because I need to, trying to lose weight. Salem makes me get out of the house every day, and so I have to take him for a walk, even if I don't want to. And he's not that much trouble because he was pretty much housebroken when I got him from the pound. I really like the older pet because Salem was kind of, whoever had him before, they really kind of housebroken, so I didn't really have to go through the potty training deal. I just had to let him out and find a place for him to go. And I think older pets, especially for people who don't have children, are kind of good because Salem, he's real playful, but he's not, he gets tired and he lays down and he doesn't want to be bothered, and that's fine with me. So he's not always wanting to play, because puppies have a lot of energy. And Salem has quite a bit of energy, but sometimes he just lays on his pillow and he's like, don't bother me, I won't bother you. And sometimes when he wants to play, and that's okay. I got Salem at the Lorain County Dog Pound. I found him on the internet, actually. They had his picture on the internet, And so I called and he was still there. And so I immediately went over and looked at him. We went outside and played, and he jumped in the car and wouldn't get out, and there we were. So we were on our way home. So it was love at first sight. He's a very good companion. I can always depend on him to be here and greet me with, open arms when I come in the door. He's very protective of me, and he lets me know when anyone is outside or in the driveway. So I feel safe with Salem. Even though he's a small dog, he gives me a safe feeling just in my own home. If I'm having a bad day sometimes and I'm just not in a real good mood, he'll come up and snuggle up to me like, "Hey, Mom, it's okay." I think other people should adopt a pet, and even an older dog. The Lorain County Pound has so many wonderful dogs. All you have to do is go over there and look. I mean, even now, I still go on the website and I tell Salem, "Don't you want a little brother or sister?" Because they have all these little cute dogs over there, and they all need good homes. And if you're looking to adopt a pet, I suggest you try the Lorain County Dog Pound first. I mean, you pay for the license and just a nominal fee, and you got a great dog and a great companion and somebody that's going to be in your life for the rest of your life and they'll love you no matter what.
Hello, my fellow commissioners and I are here at the Lorain County Dog Kennel on Hadaway Street, just south of Elyria City Discount, Value City. We invite you to stop out and see the facility here. We have lots of dogs available for adoption. We also encourage all dog owners to register your dog each year and get a dog license. That's your dog's ticket home in case it gets lost. It has a number and can easily be identified so that your dog can be returned to you in case he or she might take a little walk and you are unaware of it.
Along with the regular licensing that the county requires for all dogs, we also have a special dog license. It's a special heart medical care license tag for an additional $5. And the proceeds from that go to help us when we pick up a stray that's injured, hurt, or needs extreme medical care. It helps defer the cost for us. So next time you get your dog license, please pick up the special heart tag.
The Lorain County Commissioners would like to welcome you to come down to the Lorain County Dog Kennel. We also have a website that you can check out. Just click on Dogs to Adopt. There's plenty of dogs to choose from. It's like this little girl right here. This is Sadie. You can come down, make sure it's a good match for you, take the dog out, take it for a walk. But please, if you're thinking about adopting a dog, come out to the Lorain County Dog Kennel and see if there's a match for you.
Give the Lorain County Dog Kennel a call or check their website for photos of currently available dogs. Remember, your best friend is just waiting for you.